What's good, everybody? Welcome to your secret segment exclusively for you, our wonderful patrons. Thank you so much for supporting us. We love you guys. You're the best. So, we were talking about what do we do for this month's secret segment for our awesome patrons. And for some reason, these girls just like to talk about dicks and sex and stuff.
Husbandos.
That conversation naturally led to husbandos. So you may have heard this term from some of the girls at some point. Steimer, did you coin this? Did Alexa
No,
coin
Alexa.
this?
Husbandos is a thing, but Steimer pronounces it husbandos.
Right, which is a
then
different
I
thing.
Also,
Oh.
Yes.
Ding,
No,
ding, ding,
they're
ding,
the
ding,
same.
ding,
They're the same thing.
It's just a pronunciation difference, and now I say husbandos.
Okay,
So
so
it's husbandos.
tell everybody watching and listening what the F is a husbando.
You asked me this question over dinner last night, and I had to really think
It's
about
such a good. Do it.
A husbando is the ethereal, intangible feeling you feel for a fictional character, where you look at them and say, "I want to fuck you," but also like do your laundry, like
You want to take
Not
care
do
of
your
them.
laundry. I want to do your laundry.
do your laundry.
Okay.
Like I lust for you, but also I will
Clean your
happily,
dirty underwear.
happily clean your dirty underwear. It's a husband material. Husbando.
It was fantastic at dinner, just watching Andrea's face completely like morph as Alexa was describing this. She was just like,
I'm like, I'm married. I know about the love that you have for, your best friend, significant other, spouse, partner, whatever you want to call them. But you were talking about it in this ethereal sense, and I just didn't quite understand, like, what that meant specifically.
Basically, I mean, you're lusting after a fictional character.
Okay.
That's the ethereal part. Is like, this person is not real, and I'm okay with that, but I'm gonna act like they're real.
Okay, so I had trouble coming to grips with this as an idea. To be quite honest, I don't actively lust after fictional characters. There are some characters in all of literature that I have lusted after.
Certain there's some passive lust.
Specifically,
going on there.
video games. I mean, we're going to talk about it. But you guys were ready with examples.
Oh yeah.
Britt, are you okay? You go first. You're like giggly as a schoolgirl over
no,
there.
I love it because you're so like composed and you're like, well, I've never lusted after fiction, whatever. And then Steimer and I have had countless conversations about banging video game characters. Alexa and I think we've had a few ourselves.
Oh yes.
So the three of us are like, yeah, we want to fuck all the fictional characters. So it's just kind of, this is perfect for us. My first husbando was in 1997, Breath of Fire 3.
Dang.
Ryu and Ray, adult Ryu and adult Ray, and
You were 9 years old.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, you get
dreamed-
feelings
Have
pretty
the
early.
desire?
I just it was like one of those innocent crushes, so I can't really say I wanted to like bang them because I don't really know if I knew what that entailed.
You wanted to chase him around the schoolyard and kiss him.
Yeah, and among other things, I'm sure. I think for me, what it was is so the game starts out and all the characters are kids. But then time passes and now they're adults and they have deep grunts and grunty voices. And for me, I was like, oh my goodness. And it was an experience for me. You played Breath of Fire 3.
I did.
Do you feel the same way about Ryu and Ray?
No.
No, sorry, you're on your own for that one.
Yeah. That was my first husbando. What was yours?
Oh, damn it. My first husbando was actually an anime character.
This shocks nobody.
Shocking absolutely no one. My first husbando was Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho.
I don't know.
I don't
who
know what
that
that is.
It's an old anime that came out in like the 80s, early 90s, and he's like this like suave, like gentlemanly dude who's also a demon reborn into a human body, and he's like a fox god or whatever. And Yu Yu Hakusho was still like my favorite anime to date, but he was just like, I looked at him and I'm like, I would happily clean your dirty underwear and then let you, bend me over the couch or whatever.
Wait,
So-
how old were you?
Jesus, 12?
At 12, you wanted someone to bend you over a couch?
I mean,
Sure.
listen, the mainstream media wants you to believe that you don't have sexual feelings until you're an adult, but let's be honest, the stirrings start early.
It's
The
not-
stirrings.
it's
Is
not
this
that
the giver?
surprising.
What is this?
Oh my god. It's not that I'm surprised she had sexual feelings. It's more of the specificity of the being bent over.
Well,
a
I
couch.
think she, as an adult, is able to better
can
vocalize
Yeah.
and articulate
True.
the feelings that she was having as a young lass.
Yes,
Yeah.
but that was my first, and then from there it was just an awful downward spiral into video games and
I was
and
really into
Final
Tuxedo
Fantasy,
Mask.
and then see, I liked the idea of Tuxedo Mask, but he's actually, if you like read the manga and then watch the whole series, he's super lame.
I'm sure he is now, but like when I was
He's
younger,
a big ol' wet blanket.
when I was younger,
He's
I was
also
like,
ineffective and can't do anything.
Darian, so cute. Yeah, and he just throws a rose, like says something cryptic and leaves.
The women in Sailor Moon are so powerful, and he comes in and is like, eh, and then like sweeps his cape and runs away, and I'm like, I don't get it.
What did you just come here for? Why did you do that?
Yeah, we
So-
were handling this.
Are you saying that a quality of a husbando then must be to be powerful, to be
No,
Mm.
a husbando is for you. Like anyone can. You
It
have your
speaks
own
to
husbando
you individually.
qualities. The husbando speaks to you individually.
so for you then you need a husbando that can get shit done.
yes, I need all my husbandos to get shit done.
I don't know that he would be a husbando for me now. I'm just saying at the time when I was young and dumb.
He was
He
a good
definitely
starter
was.
husbando.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I have a thing for hair. So if you look at like Rio from Breath of Fire 3, he has like kind of that shaggy like anime hair. Zidane Tribal from Final Fantasy 9,
You like the shaggy.
the shaggy hair,
Like Surfer?
the
When you
spike, the
say
hair
Shaggy,
that
I think Shaggy Surfer.
the hair that says "fuck you" to gravity. You know,
Yes.
the shit that just sticks straight up or it's like
Oh,
goes all at
okay,
awkward angles.
okay.
My first anime husbando was Trunks from Dragon Ball Z.
I was just about to ask you, did you also have inappropriate feelings about
Oh,
Trunks?
so many inappropriate thoughts
Okay.
about Trunks. I called him the purple-haired wonder. You guys know who I'm talking about?
No.
If you were a 14-year-old girl,
I'm gonna show Christine a picture and she'll think he's hot. So you can.
No,
Oh,
if you
wow.
were like a 14-year-old girl and you were straight and into Dragon Ball Z, you wanted to fuck Trunks.
You
he was
did.
like the original fuck boy of Dragon
I
Ball.
completely spelled that wrong.
The original
Andrew has
fuckboy
no
of
idea
Dragon
what I'm
Ball.
talking about. The original fuck boy.
The original. So I also just preface this. I had a huge crush on Nick Carter, and Nick Carter back in the day had like
Solid.
the blonde, like kind of like bowl cut looking thing, but he pulled it off really well. And Trunks reminded me a lot of Nick Carter,
Yeah.
and that had a lot to do with it. And then when Ocarina of Time released in 1998, Link was like my first true blue. Like I want to fuck you and do your laundry.
Okay.
And it wasn't weird because I was 10 and he was 11.
No one likes doing laundry when they're 10.
Well, no, I
I don't even think
I don't
knew
even
how to
like
do
doing laundry now. So with Link though, he had like the blonde hair and the blue eyes, but he doesn't really have much of a personality. But even then, I was entranced, and I wanted to do things with him.
Yeah, so solid.
Yeah,
I'm just
You never did
There's
this?
no game
I'm just a
character where
little
you're
bit like my face the whole time. I'm just like, what is going on?
husbandos.
You
So-
never had any crush on anything, like any sort of media, movie or whatever.
Yeah,
like, well,
of
actually, movies
course.
are real people.
I mean,
so
but
that
like
doesn't
my
count.
crush was like Rhett Butler, Clark Gable, and like Gone with the Wind. Like if all like the men when I was like a young girl watching movies, because I loved Gone with the Wind. I still love Gone with the Wind. Reading that book multiple times, like he was always just this like dashing, kind of clever, handsome, insanely rich man who would like swept Scarlet off her feet and then she tossed him aside like the stupid bitch that she is. But you know, like we can get into my thoughts on Gone with the Wind some other time.
So did did you return to that book for him?
Oh, absolutely.
So then he's your husbando.
I mean, okay. I guess we could go with that. I
Yeah.
mean, the book that I really returned to was Scarlet, which was the sequel to Gone with the Wind, written by Alexandra Ripley. But if you've never read it and you like Gone with the Wind, please go read that book. It's excellent. I've read it like 10 times. So I've done that, but there's also like so for me, like video games I played a lot as a kid, but I didn't really play a lot of RPGs or games that had a lot of in-depth character development. I was playing platformers, I was playing racing games, I was playing a little bit of fighting games. There's really not like a lot of husbando material in those types of games from the ones that I played. So I spent a lot of time reading fantasy lit, which I also do now. There was a trilogy I read called The Powers That Be from Anne McCaffrey and Elizabeth Ann Scarborough. And I read those 3 books I've probably read that entire trilogy maybe 15 times.
Dang.
All 3 of them, because they had a really great set of characters, and there was a doctor in those books that I really kind of lusted after
A
too.
husbando.
But he could shapeshift. He could turn into a seal, I think was his power. So he could like
That got
swim.
really lame really
Hold
Oh,
on.
that's a dolphin.
Wait.
But the series is set on an ice world, and like the planet is sentient, and they're trying to wake the planet
Polar bear, bitch.
up, and he can communicate with the planet. It's weird sci-fi, but I loved it.
And he can shapeshift into a seal.
Yeah.
It's like the lamest thing. It's not the lamest.
Excuse
There's way
me, it's
lamer,
not
but that's
lame. They are
not-
powerful and majestical creatures.
What kind of seal though? Like we're talking
Seal
like a cute, like
fetish.
fuzzy
Seal
seal,
fetish.
or like one of those big like doofuses that like lay
Not
on
like
the
a
dog.
walrus.
Sea lion.
No. Or you mean not the
Sea
sea
lion.
lion? No.
Oh, okay.
No,
a
seals
seal.
are much
Not
smaller.
like a
Not
walrus.
like a walrus. So whenever you saw a seal, did you like think about weird things?
This got very weird very quickly.
Hey man.
No,
Whatever
no, I didn't.
floats your
I
boat.
didn't.
Most husbandos have a weird quirk. I'd say that's up there.
Oh god.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't like the idea of like lusting after a character and then also wanting to do like housewifey things for them is an interesting concept. I think it's been great seeing the way the video games have advanced in the last like decade to where you can actually like almost look at them as real people. When we were talking about this concept and what we should do for the secret segment, and they were like, well, isn't there anybody? And I was like, well, the only character in recent memory that I can think of as like hot and somebody that I personally am attracted to, of course, for everybody watching, don't forget, we understand that everyone's ideal mate is different. What you think of as attractive in men or women is completely up to you. So for me, I think a guy like Nathan Drake is a pretty hot
Yes.
character.
We had this
Yes.
conversation, and he is the ultimate husbando.
Yeah. Well, he's got that dash of danger, and he's witty, and he's funny, and he like has just enough bad boy without being an actual bad boy.
Right. I would like let him spank me and then make him a sandwich. Like he's
Or make a sandwich while
He's-
he's spanking you.
yeah. Or,
That might be a
why
little
not?
challenging, but
Like he and like even at the sorry, I hope everyone played Uncharted 4, but like seeing him in his end state
Spilled
after
my
the
coffee on myself.
after the Uncharted.
I'm so shook right now.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
But like seeing him in his like natural like dad state, it's like yeah, like dad, I'd let you be my daddy, and then
I'll
also
be your
dad.
Elena.
Yeah, like I'm totally jealous of Elena.
Yeah.
Like, he's super husbando material.
He really is.
Yeah.
But so this is the thing. You never felt that connection with any BioWare character, because for me, a lot of my husbandos are love interests in a either Dragon Age or Mass Effect game. So, and you play a lot of those.
Yes and no. So, I think about the people I've romanced. So, and the people that I kind of like lusted after, and like there wasn't like a lot of like real like lust, like like the butterflies when that character came in the room kind of a thing. I did. The first character I ever romanced in the Mass Effect franchise was Jacob from Mass Effect 2. Because I started with Mass Effect 2 and then went back to Mass Effect and then went back to Mass Effect 2 4 more times. So I like him as a character, but he's not exactly like the sharpest tool in the shed, if you know what I mean. Like
I do.
He's an okay character, but like husbando material for me needs to be really smart, like super intellectual. And needs to be able to have really great conversations. And Jacob was just like, he was cool.
You
wasn't
can't turn
great.
into a seal. I don't like you.
Okay, Steimer, you've been way too quiet.
Yeah.
I know you have
So like
many.
you
Come on.
brought up Bioware. Let's stop talking about who Andrea thinks is husband material.
We're gonna find
let's
you a
hear what
husbando.
Steimer has to say, because is Alistair on this list?
Of course.
Wait, how did you say his name?
Yeah, she said it kind of weird. But
No.
Alistair.
No, I don't. Alistair? Alistair?
Alistair.
I don't
That's
know
how
if there's
say
I
it.
don't know if there's a
I don't know
right
if
way
there
to
is a
say
right
it.
way to
No,
say
I was just curious.
But
Yeah.
you're gonna throw me into the bus for it anyway.
No, it was fancy. Alistair. I like it.
It sounds more regal.
It gives him more
It's fine. We
sophistication.
can call it
And
call him Alistair.
he's king and I'm queen, so it works.
Okay, tell us about this deep and
So-
meaningful relationship.
Well, I actually think for me it's worse that video games have gotten better about this, because
It's
made the fantasy too
No one
real.
can
It
live
has.
up.
No, I'm not even joking. It's almost like a Disney movie sort of situation where I'm like, no one will ever be as good as Caden, Cullen, or Alistair, so why bother? Like,
Oh.
because when I was younger, like my husbandos were in games were usually the character you played, so they didn't have a ton of personality. It was like so the character you play as in Quest for Glory is this, blonde stud man hero.
Stud
And
man
I
hero.
was like, yeah, hi, how's it going? And then I played a lot of Gabriel Knight, and Gabriel Knight's like dark and broody, and like it's got the moppy hair, and I was like, oh, hi.
Yeah.
So, but you didn't really have a ton of connection. I was just like, oh, they're hot. And now it's gotten to the point where, so Caden, for instance, I was so invested in this Caden relationship that when the Horizon mission came in Mass Effect 2 and your love interest from the first game shows up and is kind of a dick to you, I cried. I actually cried because I was so upset that I couldn't communicate to him the way I wanted to.
I was dead.
And I know. I was like, how is I was dead not an option here to tell you? Like, that seems like information you might want to know.
No, I remember that moment as well, and it was very upsetting. I did not cry, but then I remember you get a follow-up mail or email from them, right? And then I remember feeling so relieved, like
that made me feel better. But that was a while. Wasn't immediate.
Right, but those were very real emotions. So
Yeah.
I hear you. It does make things a little complicated. But what I want to hear about Steimer is Alistair, because
Okay,
you and I,
yeah.
how long has Dragon Age Origins been out? Since like 2009
Yeah,
ish,
been
so
a
very
while.
long time. And you and I have bonded over Alistair
we have.
in more ways than one. What?
Oh God.
That's never mind. This is, I can't.
Use your imagination, folks.
I seem to remember a story about someone trying to snuggle someone else.
Oh boy, no. That's no.
Oh boy.
I'm keeping this on the rails, Alexa.
I'm gonna
Continue
drag
with
him
your
off.
story.
This will be another secret segment. Anyway, so I want to hear about like your feelings about Alistair.
I mean, for me, I love Alistair, but he wasn't the first person I romanced in Dragon Age Origins. My first husbando in that game was actually a waifu, and it was Morgan.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Now it's complicated.
Who I actually, I don't know. As the years have gone by, my feelings towards Alistair have waned, and my feelings towards people like Cullen have increased.
Cullen's not so bad.
Your
I
taste
really
has
liked
changed.
him in
Cullen's
Inquisition.
Hot, competent, sweet, all of the things you would want in an ideal mate. And
Competent.
I mean, like, good at his job.
Andrew's like intelligent, and you're like competent.
I'll take what I can get.
Just like a solid B minus.
C plus B minus. Passing grade. Okay. All right.
I don't mean competent.
Beggars can't be choosers. I get it.
baseline. I just meant like he was
She
good
just
at his
called you a
job.
beggar.
I love
Okay,
you.
so
Fine.
so what is it about Bioware characters that, kind of light the fire in you?
I don't know. I think the way that they have the romances play out, and you have that little like teasiness, like it's sort of
They have flirting in the game, which is
Flirty. So
good.
very rare to see. I mean, if you think about all the character and narrative options in video games, for some reason, the art of flirting is just something that a lot of narrative writers just don't get right. And Bioware really gets it right.
Mm-hmm.
they do, and then they do kind of overkill it a little bit for me on the I like you but I can't be with you. I feel like almost every character does that, and it gets on my nerves. And what I appreciate about Colin is he was basically like all in. He didn't have that moment of hesitation really.
He was waiting for you to come by and say something.
pretty much right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you, because Blackwell's over here like,
Oh, don't get me started on him.
Guy who
Don't
commit.
get me
I
started.
know.
on
So
that
he
son of
sucks.
a bitch.
Solus sucks.
Oh God, let's not go down that road.
I feel like Bioware also, we all know this, have brilliant writers, and they make these amazing characters that I feel like kind of fill any void. Like, Alistair's kind of that doofy but hot king, and you kind of feel sorry for him because you want to take care of him because he is so innocent.
Bioware does husbandos good.
They do,
Yeah.
and whatever you're
Well.
looking for, you can typically find. And like with Jal in Mass Effect Andromeda, he was kind of weird looking, but he kind of had that little innocence about him. You just kind of wanted to,
Just
do
keep your
things.
shirt on while we do it.
Yeah, no, both Jal and Garrus, I think, are as characters are great husbando material. I just can't get
Can't
past the alien
Interspecies sex.
They're just so odd looking because they are alien, right? And so, like, I mean, my husbando, I'm sorry to be a speciesist, but it has to be human. Like, needs to be human.
No, I'm with you on that. Well, it depends. So, like, I was never somebody who wanted to ship Garrus and Shepard because I was like, I'm pretty sure they've said in this that it's really difficult for Turians and humans to mate. So, like, it makes sense to have a husbando / waifu that is an Asari, for instance, because they can mate with anybody. That makes sense. What?
I said Liara. I whispered
Yeah.
it.
Oh.
I romanced her 4 times.
Yeah, you did.
Pretty good.
Mhm. Technically 5 times because I romanced her across all 3 Mass Effect games, and I romanced her 3 times specifically in Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I think in your average relationship, sex is an important component. And I say average because there are obviously outliers. There's some people who are like asexual or whatever, you know. But and so for me, anything that's alien where you can't really do it, I'm like, you're a friend. You are a friend,
Yeah.
and that's all.
But they have hands
And mouths.
Turians have claws.
Oh yeah, I forgot that part. What was this?
Claws and beaks.
Claws.
What's your poor vagina's gonna hurt real bad.
Okay, this is
Okay,
okay. This is
I
getting
wanna-
a little graphic.
I want to
That's why this is Patreon.
Alexa.
Wow.
This is why it's the secret segment.
You guys won't judge us, hopefully.
I
want Fire
I
Emblem.
can feel the judgment.
Fire
Emblem.
Emblem. Yes, I love Fire Emblem.
Husbandos and
Yeah.
Fire Emblem.
Husbandos, Fire Emblem.
Go.
You also have the option in Fire Emblem games to romance people. The last 2, Awakening and Fates, did it really well. Awakening was a little bit, there were some, like, the romance was very, very sweet, but in Fates, there's a lot of, it's like they listened to all of their fans in America and were like, okay, a little more heavy petting. And there's some, like, really, like, there's, like, some dialogue that's, someone's very clearly referencing, like, tying you up and stuff while you do it. And there's, like, just all of these hints of, like, these different, like, basically physical connections with all of these people. And I think the fan community takes games like Fire Emblem and then runs it off the rails because you have this opportunity to romance these people in kind of an adult-ish way. And then you have Fire Emblem Heroes, which is as I've said many times, a horny casino, because they took all of that sexualization that the fans did, ramped it up to like 11, and then put it out there. I played Fire Emblem Fates. There's 3 different versions, and I played through all versions twice. And I romanced my adopted siblings, my not actually my siblings.
You romanced your siblings?
Yeah.
step-siblings?
So the way that game starts is you're part of this kingdom, and then you find out that you were stolen as a child from this other kingdom, and you have to choose between your adopted siblings and your birth siblings. But then you find out later that your birth siblings actually, you're not blood related to anybody. So
It's
you can
still-
do everyone.
Yeah, but it's still
bang
weird,
all of the
right?
people.
It's what?
It's still kind of weird.
Because
I
you're
mean-
raised as siblings, right?
Yeah, and it is reflective in dialogue of like I always knew there was something weird when we grew up together, but now I can bang you. Yay, we're not related. Woo!
I feel like I want to play this game just to see this.
It's but I romanced, and then I went back and played the other ones, and my husbando is Takumi, and I get a lot of shit for it because he's kind of whiny and kind of like an asshole when you first meet him, but he goes through so much and becomes like the way that you two come together. Like, you really have to, like, it's a challenge getting him to like you and getting him to accept you in general. So he is my husbando, and I still haven't gotten him in Fire Emblem Heroes. And
Is this the guy with the pothead? The lid?
no, that's Donald. No, he's got the ponytail. He's the archer with like the giant ass anime ponytail. And I just like feel a connection to that character, and it's like, I would let you bend me over the couch, and then I'll make you a sandwich and do your laundry.
You never felt that way about
a
Aragon?
human? What?
You never felt that way about any of the Lord of the Rings characters?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
I remember watching like I read all the books, and I was like, okay, I definitely felt a connection with Aragorn because I feel like we have a lot of the same just general
Yeah.
goals and philosophies on life. And then I watched the movie and I was like, oh, Viggo Mortensen looks so hot as Aragorn. And then for some reason I like became obsessed with Elijah Wood as like Frodo.
What?
Yes.
Twist?
I was like,
Yes.
and I was like, wait, what?
No, he was my husbando. Like it's something about the big blue eyes and like the weird constipated face he made every time he like put the ring on. So
All right, listen,
I was
ladies.
more of a Legolas
we need to wrap this segment up. So let's leave with some parting thoughts about husbandos and why they're important and why it's okay to have them.
husbandos are for everyone.
Live your life. If you want to crush on a fictional character, you do you.
Right.
I think everyone watching this show has had at least one crush on a fictional character. Is that a safe thing to say?
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
They had the
yeah.
stirrings, as you put it.
Yes. Steimer,
Okay.
do you have any potential new husbandos that you have your eye on?
I don't know.
Any promising husbandos from trailers or anything you've seen?
Is Link doing it for you?
He looks.
He
I don't
looks a little
know.
prepubescent. for
Yeah,
me.
like,
Yeah.
that's kind of what it is.
I
I'm
need
like,
like a full-grown man.
Yeah.
yeah. At this stage in my life, I'm too old to want to.
If I was
Want a
14,
child?
maybe I could lust.
What
after
about a
Link.
full-grown fish man?
Oh, that fish man.
Sidon.
Yeah, he's
Prince Sidon's the
goofy.
husbando.
I had a crush
He
on
keeps
Majora's Mask.
doing that like smiley face, like the. And then
Yeah,
like,
he's like hamming
believes in
to
you.
the camera.
He's the best husbando because he believes in you so hard. He knows you can do it. He believes in you.
that's important in a husbando.
It is.
He gets behind you in all your endeavors, and then he can get.
Behind
you
you.
later.
Oh,
Nah.
I don't know why I keep talking about getting it from behind. I really
Yeah,
need
I'm
to
not
check
sure
that
why.
out.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a good place to end. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this very weird conversation about lusting after and loving and wanting to care for
And do laundry for.
some of our favorite characters across the world of fictional literature, video games, movies, TV. Thank you so much for being a patron. We look forward to hearing some of your ideas for what we should talk about on next month's secret segment. All right. We just gotta go.
Bye. There's no saving this, Andrea. Stop.